For Hype Plus, I'm Nichelle Woods. Who doesn't remember BET Uncut? Having to stay up late to catch it at 3 a.m., completely ignoring the mature audience discretion warning at the beginning if you were underage, how it ironically came on right before the religious programming at 4 a.m. BET Uncut was one of the only programs of its kind at the time, showcasing lightly censored music videos of hip-hop artists. It was first aired in 2000 and ran until it was canceled in 2006. Some of BET Uncut's most memorable videos included White Girls by Mighty Casey, Disco Inferno by 50 Cent, and the infamous Tip Drill by Nelly. The ratings were huge, but despite its popularity, especially among male viewers, the program came to an abrupt end. It was met with much controversy after Nelly's Tip Drill video aired in 2004. But with the show already known for its highly sexualized content, what was it that finally caused BET executives to pull it off the air? Here's what happened to BET Uncut. Uncut first aired in September of 2000. It was created to give artists a platform to demonstrate creative freedom with limited censoring. Robert Santor, BET's director of corporate communications, said the show was started to give a showcase for a lot of artist videos that we couldn't give regular airtimes to. According to Nelson Media research ratings, Uncut was getting around 215,000 viewers per night, which was unheard of for late-night television. Videos like What That Thing Smell Like by Black Jesus and No Panties on the Dance Floor by Waxamillion drew a lot of attention to the program. Although there were a lot of well-known artists featured on the show, it mostly consisted of lesser-known underground rappers. Many considered it a great way to be discovered by a wider audience. In an interview with The Village Voice, Black Jesus stated, "I remember BET was doing a tribute to Patti LaBelle, and she was on 106 and Park on the couch, and AJ and Free asked her what was she listening to. She said, 'There's this video that comes on when all the babies are asleep. I don't know if I can say it, but it's called What That Thing Smell Like.' I also ran into Beyonce and Marcus Houston. He was telling me they liked the video. Also, we were out in Brooklyn going to an industry party, and Dead Prez were there telling us, we just want to know what that thing smelled like." There was also a drop from Lil' Kim on her La Bella Mafia album where it begins with, "That was Black Jesus with What That Thing Smelled Like." It opened a lot of doors, giving us a national platform, letting people know who Black Jesus was. The artist Murs, known on BET Uncut for his song Risky Business, also expressed his appreciation, saying, "Being the regular average Black male that I am, I finally started getting noticed at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles by people who never paid attention to me before then. I think that was before the hood was on the internet, which is why it was so successful. There was a mall I used to go to every Sunday, and now people were like, 'You're that guy.' I'm extremely thankful for BET doing something like that. It was entertaining many a night, and it was my first national video. I wish they would bring it back." Although many of the artists were thankful for the opportunity to get their name recognized, and many of the viewers were thankful for the raunchy content it displayed, there was also a lot of controversy with the show. Many considered it to be misogynistic and degrading to women. But no other video caused more outcry than the infamous Tip Drill by Nelly. Tip Drill, like many of the videos on BET Uncut, showed a plethora of women with little to nothing on, insinuating sexual acts with each other and the rappers. But what set this video apart is when Nelly swiped a credit card in between the booty cheeks of one of the women in the video, then looked back at the camera with a big grin on his face. When asked about the video, Nelly says, "If you look at that video now, and you put it in context of what's going on right now, and you look at how far things are going right now, I mean, that video was nothing. But at the time, I guess it was."
But the only reason I did it because BET Uncut was already running for like 2 years.
Yes.
And you know, I'm up, I'm watching, I want a video for that show.
Some viewers, including a group of Spelman students, opposed the video, considering it a distasteful exploitation of women. These Spelman students were so outraged that they protested Nelly's appearance on campus for a bone marrow drive back in 2004. The petition drive and phone campaigns from the students led to Nelly canceling his event at the HBCU. Reminiscing on the event, Nelly states in a 2015 interview, "What used to kill me about the whole thing was that Spelman is 2 miles away from like 4 strip clubs. You haven't protested a strip club yet, but you're at my event." Nelly was more upset about the timing of the protest than the protest itself. In an interview with HuffPost Live, he stated, "You approached me with this conversation while I'm doing a drive. Why do you want to talk about that now when I'm trying to save lives?" That was my whole issue with that. Nelly was looking for a bone marrow match for his sister who was battling leukemia at the time, but the outrage from the group of students known as the Spelman Feminist Majority Leadership Alliance overshadowed his cause. A year after, the rapper's sister, Jacqueline Donahue, lost her battle with the disease. It came out later that the card swipe and tip drill that caused the uproar was actually not even Nelly's idea, despite all the heat that he received for it. He even pointed out in an interview that it was the video vixen's idea.
But it wasn't my idea, it was her idea.
Really?
Yeah, it was White Chocolate's idea. Everybody knows that.
White
see,
chocolate?
In an interview with The Focal Spot, Monique White Chocolate Williams stated that she didn't feel degraded at all, despite the outcry about it. I didn't feel demeaned. I didn't feel degraded. I didn't feel like, oh my God. Again, I've been in marketing my whole life, and I believe you're supposed to pay for the product that you want. And it kind of fell inside of that.
Like, oh, you swipe the credit card down the card in your butt. Nobody at that moment was like, that's a bad thing.
You know, there's women and other people later that came on and said, oh, that's so degrading, that's so bad, and that's so this, and it was nothing like that. I'm an artist, I'm a video vixen. I was paid to do a job, I was paid to be there, to be entertaining, and I did my job, and I did it well.
Did I go grab the sister and say, yo, you're being in my video whether you like it or not? No, we presented a job opportunity, and some people came in and they read what was going to be the requirements for the job, and they agreed. And I am a little bitter on this subject because I was doing that to help find a donor for my sister that is no longer with me right now.
The women at Spelman weren't the only ones that had something to say about the direction BET Uncut was headed in. The Associated Press reported that Big Boy of Outkast spoke on the program saying, some of it's getting really distasteful. It's like giving a bad taste. It's really exploiting women, he says. What they're doing now is kind of like soft porn. I saw some stuff the other day. I didn't even know they could do that on TV. But many came to the show's defense, including Stephen Hill, a senior vice president for BET, who said, Uncut is for adult eyes only. A disclaimer runs before the naughty videos air. Any kid up at 3 o'clock in the morning, their biggest problem is not BET. BET spokesman Michael Llewellyn chimed in, saying, Uncut has developed an almost cult-like following because of the freedom of artists to express themselves. It is specifically for adults. These are music videos whose content is too strong for our day points. We exercise more scrutiny than is required. Despite its strong arguments to keep the show running, BET executives decided to cut the show 2 years later. There was an online petition started to bring the show back on air, but there was no such luck. That is until February 2021, when the show was set to make a temporary comeback. BET announced on Twitter the fan favorite will return for a week-long run through Valentine's Day weekend. The tweet stated it would show completely uncensored conversations about anything and anything you want. The announcement was met with mixed reactions. Some excited for the comeback and others skeptical about whether it would only be uncensored conversations rather than the explicit visuals it was known for. The day BET Uncut was supposed to come back on air, there were over 501,000 viewers ready to see the new Uncut. After the mature audience's only disclaimer, the broadcast was interrupted by King Bach and D-Storm Powers announcing the viewers had been punked. Turns out the announcement of BET Uncut's return was a publicity stunt to get viewers to tune into BET's revival of MTV's series Punked. Many viewers were disappointed by the hoax, looking forward to Uncut's return. But BET President of Programming Stephen Hill told The Wire in an interview that it was all in good fun. We were fortunate enough to have a lot of good-natured humor and social media energy around it. It was clearly in the spirit of the show. Although BET Uncut seems to be gone for good, it certainly cannot be forgotten. The show aired some of the most memorable moments in hip-hop and created some of the biggest controversies in late-night television. Everyone may not agree on whether the content on BET Uncut was tasteful, but it's safe to say it made its mark in the television industry. Stay up to date with the latest news in comedy, sports, and music by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. Follow Hype Plus across all social media, and look out for original content on our new streaming service. For Hype Plus, I'm Nichelle Woods.